Okay, so this is my Morton steel building. It's 24 by 32. It's all steel, and then it's insulated, it's got heat, electrical, all that stuff. Big problem with a steel building, I found out, is that you don't get any type of radio or signal in the building. So the first order of business that I did was put up this antenna, and I did that because I couldn't get radio inside the shed. Even with like some of those dipole antennas, I could kind of get it, but especially if the doors were closed. If the doors were open, it wasn't as bad. But if these doors were closed, like let's say it was winter or something, then yeah, you wouldn't get any type of radio signal. So I put in this antenna mast, and it's just a Radio Shack Special, I believe. The antenna, it's designed for FM radio. I'll show you how I got that hooked up in a second, but then that's just a galvanized thing. It's 1.25" galvanized pipe. And the first section here, they're all 10-foot sections, so that first section is down in the ground quite a ways. I also have a ground rod pounded in alongside, which I think is kind of overkill if the actual galvanized pipe itself here is actually pounded into the ground. That's what holds it basically into the ground. And then at the very top, I got a standoff bracket off the top of the fascia board there. I don't have any type of amplifier or preamp on this. I probably could, but it works pretty good just the way it is. I had it, if you see where that first coupler is up there, that's how high it used to be. And then I did radio, but I wasn't pulling in as much signal as I thought I should. So I went another, I think 3 feet above that. It's much better. Again, I could probably put a preamp on that, and then it goes into the attic there. I just got a wire with a grommet that goes into the attic. So that's how that is, and I'll show you how I have it hooked up on the inside. Okay, so this is the stereo I'm running. It's Craigslist special. I think I paid 20 bucks for this, which I think was a pretty good deal. It's an old Kenwood unit. It's got tons of power. And I don't know if you can see it. Probably won't show up. The camera will fuzz on me. Yeah, it's not gonna focus. Come on. I don't know. I gotta figure out how to run this camera. You can see it there for a second. There it said. You can see it for just a second. That's the signal meter, and it's like 4.5 out of 5, which is much better than what it was at. And then I also have a TV out here in the shop, and that TV's running on the exact same antenna. And because it's an old one, I got the converter box with it. But it's nice to have a TV out here if you want to watch the game. I know I was trying to watch. The TV's loud. I don't know what the controller is. Let's turn that down. So anyway, I couldn't really watch the game out here. Let me turn that down. And so what I did was I hooked it in with that radio, and it works pretty good. Let's see if I can find the meter in here. So yeah, it's 90, which isn't bad for that, and that's on 26. Let's try 32, 90, that's good. Let's try 38. Yeah, 38 I think is the weakest one. And I got the antenna kind of splitting the difference. It's supposed to be a unidirectional antenna, but really it's directional just like any antenna. Yeah, I don't know, 52 is hit or miss. Sometimes it comes in and sometimes it doesn't. It's like it's on the air some days, and other days it's not. And channel 2 looks good. You got 92. So, and then 5. Yeah, see, they're all pretty good. 11 is usually, channel 7 shouldn't come in. That's out of Wausau. 9 too, that wouldn't come in. It's out of Wausau. I don't know. Depends on the weather too. Sometimes you can get it. It'll bounce the signal just right. So 11 is another one that's kind of weird with its signal, but 84, that's pretty good. So really, there's only one station I watch. Oh, it's 23.5. What's that? Seriously, what's 23.5? I don't know what that is. That must be a new station. Really, all I ever watch is 26-2 anyway out here. So that's what I got with that. So you could imagine the next step was going to be Wi-Fi. This laptop and the old one I had would get signal in here with the door shut if I had it up on this ledge here, and then I kind of faced it that direction. We have a router that's in the sunroom that kind of points out this way, but if it wasn't up on the windowsill, you wouldn't get any signal at all, and if you're down here in the bench, you got absolutely nothing. So the signal wasn't good. So the next step was to try one of these out, and this is what a Lynx AC 1200 Max Wi-Fi range extender. I got it from Walmart. I think it was like 80 bucks. The reason I went with this model is because it doesn't plug directly into the wall, because my outlets are below the window, which made me nervous that I wouldn't be picking up the signal that the router over in the sunroom was pointing out or pushing out. So this one I can actually mount up in the windowsill. So now it does a bunch of stuff. I set it up already, and you can tell the signal here now. I'm getting full signal, which is pretty obvious if I'm right next to it. It's right there. So I'm just finishing up anchoring it. I only have one screw holding it up to right now. And I don't know, these antennas too, I don't know, it's a dual band, whatever that means. But you can move them, and I don't know if they're directional, if it's just better to have them up high. But the router also in the sunroom, I want to get that up higher. That's at like table height, and I'd like to get that as high as the windows are, like to the top of the windows, to shoot the signal out higher. Because if we did, I think we could actually catch that bedroom window there, and then there's another bedroom window on the other side of that. So we'd have pretty good signal strength. And I don't know, by moving that router up in the sunroom may have gave me enough signal, but this way, I've used this now, it's been flawless so far. I mean, I've only had it connected here for about an hour or so. But it's just as fast as the other router, and it's super simple to connect. You basically plug it in, which I did, and then what did it say in the directions? You have to type in like a web address. I don't even know what I did with the directions. Here it is. Type in some web address. After the light, you may have to wait 2 minutes for the light to change, and then there's a web address at the bottom here, this HTTP extender dot whatever. And you go to that, and then basically just answer a few questions, type of language, this and that, and then that's it. It connects, and from what I can tell, it doesn't show up as a separate router. So like the router that is pushing that signal out is this Motorola one, and that obviously isn't that router, so I think it takes that name of the other one and pushes it back out. I'm not an expert on this. I should have did this a long time ago, because this was a super easy fix for this. So there you go. That's how to get Wi-Fi out in your metal building without having to run hardline or cable out.